Did you know that Leonardo da Vinci, the man celebrated as one of history's greatest geniuses, was once doubted, rejected, and dismissed as a failure, struggling for recognition before his brilliance transformed the world? This is the untold motivational story of Leonardo da Vinci, a man whose failures became stepping stones and whose persistence turned setbacks into the foundation of greatness. Born in 1452 in the small town of Vinci, Italy, Leonardo was the illegitimate son of a notary and a peasant woman, a status that barred him from formal education and the privileges of nobility. From the start, he was considered less than in society's eyes, yet his natural curiosity burned brighter than any barrier. As a child, he sketched birds in flight, water flowing through streams, and machines of his imagination. But instead of being celebrated, he was often ridiculed for being distracted, unfocused, or strange. He had little access to structured schooling, and often had to teach himself through observation and trial. His left-handed writing and unconventional thinking set him apart, and many saw it as a weakness rather than a gift. When he entered the workshop of Andrea del Verrocchio in Florence, Leonardo's immense talent began to emerge. But even there, he faced jealousy, skepticism, and rejection. His early paintings were criticized for being unfinished or overly experimental. He was known to start projects with enthusiasm and abandon them midway, gaining a reputation for inconsistency and failure to deliver. In fact, many of his commissions were rejected or left incomplete, leading patrons to doubt his reliability. For years, he struggled to secure stable work, watching other artists rise to fame while he wrestled with setbacks. There came a breaking point when Leonardo felt that his opportunities were slipping away. Projects like the Adoration of the Magi and the Battle of Anghiari remained unfinished, and whispers grew that perhaps Leonardo da Vinci was not capable of following through on greatness. Financial hardship weighed on him, and he often moved from city to city, Florence, Milan, Rome, searching for patrons, searching for acceptance, searching for a chance to prove himself. Yet what others saw as failures, Leonardo saw as experiments, as necessary steps toward mastery. He once said, "Obstacles cannot crush me. Every obstacle yields to stern resolve." And it was this resolve that turned his story around. His turning point came when he realized that his genius was not confined to art alone. It stretched into science, anatomy, architecture, engineering, and invention. Unlike others who specialized in one craft, Leonardo embraced them all, blending disciplines to see patterns invisible to others. His notebooks filled with sketches of flying machines, war engines, bridges, human anatomy, and water systems showed that his mind was centuries ahead of his time. Though many of these inventions were never built in his lifetime, they became blueprints for the future, inspiring generations of scientists and engineers. But his true breakthrough in recognition came with works like The Last Supper and later the Mona Lisa. Paintings that transformed not just art, but how humanity understood beauty, perspective, and emotion. These masterpieces, born out of years of trial, rejection, and persistence, proved to the world that Leonardo was not just an artist but a visionary. Even then, he faced criticism. Some mocked his slow pace. Others doubted his unconventional techniques. But history remembers his triumphs, not the doubts of his critics. Beyond the canvas, his anatomical studies, which dissected the human body in astonishing detail, laid the foundation for modern medical science, though many of his discoveries remained unpublished in his lifetime. He died in 1519, leaving behind a legacy of unfinished works, scattered notebooks, and unfulfilled ideas. But those very fragments became the seeds of revolutions in art, science, and engineering centuries later. Leonardo da Vinci's story is proof that failure is not the opposite of success, but the very foundation of it. He was doubted because of his birth, rejected because of his inconsistencies, criticized for his unfinished projects, and underestimated throughout his life. Yet his persistence, curiosity, and refusal to give up turned those very failures into the building blocks of genius. His journey reminds us that greatness is not about never falling, it is about rising every time we do. Today, the name Leonardo da Vinci is synonymous with creativity, brilliance, and vision. But behind the legend was a man who faced the same struggles, doubts, and rejections that we all do. So whenever you feel like giving up, remember Leonardo da Vinci, the illegitimate boy from Vinci who was told he was unworthy, the artist who was mocked for unfinished work, the inventor whose machines were dismissed as fantasy, yet the man who proved that persistence and imagination can outlast time itself. His life teaches us that when every door seems closed, persistence can open windows to the future, and that even in failure lies the fortune of greatness waiting to be born.